Here we're looking at Southland Muscadine. Southland is an older cultivar released in 1967 by the USDA station in Mississippi. It's a little bit different from most of our modern cultivars in that it is relatively early germplasm in terms of its pedigree. One of its parents is Thomas, and Thomas is a wild selection from the coastal plain in North Carolina. So we're really looking only at 1 or 2 generations from a wild plant in Southland. The USDA station in Mississippi released some cultivars which have a little bit different germplasm than that was released by Isons and University of Georgia. It tends to be a little more wild in type. Plants are generally, from their releases, are pretty vigorous, but the fruit quality isn't nearly as modern as what the cultivars from University of Georgia and Isons are. You can still find Southland being propagated and sold, and it's only sold for one reason, and that is flavor. Southland, in my mind, is one of the very best tasting muscadines out there. It also has a very good aroma, and of course that always comes into play when you're talking about flavor. But a ripe Southland vine, you can smell it from a good distance away. It just has that strong muscadine odor, which really makes you want to trial it and eat it. I don't think it would be a good cultivar commercially, certainly. It's just not got the size and the crisp skin that we want in the commercial cultivars. And pick your own, it would probably only do moderately well just because it is small, and a lot of people are going to be turned off from that small size. But if they get up close and taste it and they smell it, then they may really like it for that reason. And so I do have some growers that like it for that reason, just because it has such a good flavor. The berries, as you can see, relatively small. One of the nice things about it is it almost always picks cleanly. You get a nice tight dry stem scar, very little tearing and virtually no split when you pick it. So it just kind of comes off in your hand. Real easy to pick in that way. I think it'd make a nice juice jelly type grape. One of the things about it is it does have a very tough skin. It's got the traditional muscadine skin. It's a slip skin, soft pulp, and very few people are going to eat this skin. It's just really very tough skin. So again, if you want a home variety and you want something, to use that's just got a lot of aroma and traditional muscadine flavor, Southland's a good cultivar for that. It's a self-fertile vine, so you don't need a pollinator. It usually sets a very good crop every year, and relatively good vigor on the vine, so relatively easy to care for. Having a tough skin and black color like that, very few fruit rots. You could probably grow it without spraying it most locations and most years. So easy to take care of that way. Again, this is Southland Muscadine.